The movie opens with Sam climbing the ladders of an apartment building where a lively party is in full swing. He doesn't look particularly happy among the thumping music in the background and crowd of unknown people. After surveying the crowd, he is approached by his ex-girlfriend, Fanny, who hugs him and plants a kiss on his cheek. Their brief conversation is cut short by the arrival of her new boyfriend, Mathieu. Sam explains that he is here only to retrieve his tapes, but Fanny urges him to stay a while, promising to catch up later. As the party progresses, Sam observes Fanny engrossed in her new social circle, and his loneliness intensifies. However, his frustration reaches a boiling point, prompting him to confront Fanny about his tapes. He expresses his desire to collect his belongings and leave. Fanny directs him to her office at the end of the hall, suggesting they talk before he departs. En route to the office, he gets accidentally hit on the nose by an inconsiderate partygoer. Shaken but determined, he makes his way to the office and locates his tapes. To tend to his nosebleed, he retreats to the office, locking the door for privacy. He stretches out on the couch, seeking a moment of respite. As he drifts off to sleep, faint crashes and muffled screams can be heard from outside. The next morning, Sam awakens, eager to leave with his box of cassettes. However, upon opening the office door, his world turns upside down. The hallway lies in a state of utter disarray, things lying all over the place and walls splattered with blood. His heart pounding in fear, Sam clutches a heavy piece of glass as he cautiously navigates towards the apartment's main door. The door hangs slightly ajar, revealing a chilling sight. Fanny sits motionless on the stairs, her once radiant face scarred, as if someone tore away a portion of it. Startled by Sam's voice, she charges towards him with a mindless ferocity. Instinctively, Sam slams the door shut, narrowly escaping her grasp. Peering out the window, Sam is met with a scene straight out of a horror movie. A mindless zombie sprints across the street where trash is everywhere and cars have been abandoned with their doors open. Across the street, a horrifying spectacle unfolds as a family desperately fends off their own zombified son. Despite their efforts, the parents and their daughter manage to escape only to be mercilessly slaughtered by a horde of zombies drawn to the sound of their car engine. The stark reality dawns upon Sam. These monstrous creatures are fast and attack in numbers. With a heavy heart, Sam sifts through the belongings of the apartment's dead inhabitants. As he listens to the final messages left on their abandoned mobile phones, a tear trickles down his cheek. Gripped by fear, he gingerly opens the door leading to the roof and stealthily ventures out to gain a clearer perspective of the chaos. To his utter dismay, the zombie apocalypse seems to have engulfed a gloomy Paris in its entirety. The next scene unfolds with Sam meticulously scrubbing the floor of the apartment. The sudden crack of a gunshot erupts from the apartment below, jolting him to attention. Pressing his ear against the floor, he tries to listen to what's happening below when suddenly a deafening bang echoes through the apartment, followed by the splintering of wood as a bullet penetrates the floorboards. Carefully widening the bullet hole with a metal pipe, Sam peers through the makeshift opening. His eyes widen in horror as he discovers an elderly man slumped lifelessly on the sofa, his brain splattered across the cushions, and a shotgun within his reach. As Sam slides down into the apartment through the makeshift hole, he finds a zombified woman restrained to a chair, with a cloth covering her face. After seeing a ring on her finger, he realizes that it is the wife of the man who shot himself dead. Sam cautiously retrieves the shotgun and its accompanying ammunition, his heart pounding with a mix of fear and determination. With the shotgun clutched tightly in his hand, he silently descends the staircase, teeming with partygoers last night, but now eerily deserted. Reaching the building's main entrance, he swiftly locks the door just as a horde of ravenous zombies crashes against it. On the ground floor, Sam silently consumes a can of food, right in front of the gaze of a zombie peering through the barred window. He realizes that these zombies do not make any noise on top of being swift on their feet. Gathering all the supplies he can muster, knives, packets, and cans of food, and the shotgun, Sam retreats back to the upper floors, ready to face the perilous challenges that lie ahead. Sam cautiously embarks on an exploration of the building's various units, discovering that most of them stand empty, their former occupants long gone. In one particularly harrowing encounter, he barely escapes the clutches of a group of 3 zombies inside an apartment unit in the building. Swiftly locking the door behind him, he marks the unit with a large X, a reminder of the lurking danger. With newfound resolve, Sam ventures into another unit, his shotgun held at the ready. He stumbles upon what appears to be a teenager's room, its walls adorned with graffiti and music posters, relics of a life cut short. He also finds a discarded iPod, a cassette tape, and a set of drums in the room. As Sam locks this unit to leave, a sudden movement catches his eye. An elderly zombified man laying flat in the building's elevator. Hurriedly, Sam slams the elevator doors shut and ties them with a belt, trapping the undead man within the elevator. The zombie fruitlessly tries to bite on the steel rails of the elevator as Sam continues his perilous journey through the desolate apartment building. That night, he listens to the cassette that he found in the kid's room, which is full of silly guitar noises made by the kid. It temporarily connects him back to the reality before the zombie apocalypse. However, the following morning brings him back to reality as he watches the streets full of decapitated bodies of zombies that are just standing there mindlessly. We see Sam rationing his food and taking a note of what he has, and tinting the window of his room so that the zombies do not catch a sight of him. Sam retreats to the room where he found the drums, seeking a momentary escape from the harsh realities of his solitude. In a fleeting moment of bliss, he unleashes his inner musician, playing the drums as a punk rock song blares in the background. However, this brief happiness is abruptly shattered by the ominous sounds of footsteps approaching his downstairs. Peering out from the balcony, he is met with a chilling sight, a horde of ravenous zombies congregating beneath the window. The stark reality dawns upon Sam. These creatures react swiftly and instinctively to any source of noise, drawn to the sound like moths to a flame. Amidst the chaos that surrounds him, Sam begins to forge a semblance of normalcy within his confined world. He carefully tints the windows with coffee stains, and even engages in lighthearted activities, using airsoft paintball to playfully target unsuspecting zombies from his balcony. Yet, moments of solace are scattered with dark encounters. In one particularly grim discovery, he stumbles upon two lifeless bodies concealed beneath the floorboards of an empty unit. With a solemn respect, he wraps the bodies in sheets and lays them out on a bed, and seals off the room. The harsh realities of his isolation weigh heavily on Sam as he prepares for a bath. Disappointed to find the water supply has dwindled, he is forced to make do with the remaining droplets. That night, perhaps haunted by the dead bodies he found, he succumbs to a terrifying nightmare. He sees himself frozen in fear as the zombies break his do and start dismembering him inch by inch. As dawn breaks, Sam emerges from his slumber, determined to reclaim any portion of normalcy. He shaves his beard and jogs around the building to the soothing melodies of the jazz song Buona Sera. With resourcefulness and determination, he collects rainwater to sustain himself, adapting to the harsh realities of his existence. In a peculiar act of connection, Sam finds solace in his daily interactions with the zombified man trapped in the elevator who he names Alfred. Through one-sided conversations, he pours out his pent-up emotions, sharing his fears and grief about the potential fate of his mother. His words hang heavy in the air, unanswered and unheard, yet they provide a sort of companionship in his solitary confinement. That afternoon, his solitary routine is disrupted by the appearance of a cat, its presence a beacon of hope amidst the desolate urban landscape. With a surge of longing for genuine connection, Sam hastily descends the building, eager to lure in the cat. However, his pursuit proves futile as the cat darts away, leaving Sam bewildered. He tries to follow the cat outside quietly and looks under a car. However, he is discovered by two zombies, who quickly attack him. Desperate to escape the looming clutches of the approaching zombies, Sam squeezes into car, the sharp edges of broken glass piercing his skin. With a surge of adrenaline, he scrambles back into the safety of his apartment, the horror of the encounter etched in his mind. Gazing back from his window, Sam is met with a frustrating sight. The cat, seemingly unconcerned by the zombie's presence, peacefully grooming itself. In a fit of frustration, he succumbs to his emotions and shoots the cat with his shotgun. As he closes the window and turns back, the consequences of his impulsive are right in front of him. A trail of blood trickles down his hand, the chilling realization that he may have been bitten by the zombies. Fear grips his heart as he sleeps with the gun under his chin, unsure of his fate. In the morning, when he finds that he hasn't turned into a zombie, Sam laughs maniacally. As time passes by, the harsh winter descends and the absence of electricity forces Sam to rely on burning wood for warmth. The relentless isolation begins to erode his sanity, leaving him haunted by phantom footsteps and eerie noises that echo through the empty corridors. In a desperate attempt to release his pent-up frustration, Sam expresses his anger upon Alfred, the trapped zombified man. He yells at him, pouring out his bottled-up emotions, seeking an outlet for his anguish. Then, in an act of defiant rebellion, Sam drags his drums to the window, unleashing a cacophony of sound that echoes through the streets outside. Even when a large horde of zombies gather under the window, climbing on top of each other, Sam keeps playing the drum like a crazed man. That night, as he hears footsteps outside his bedroom again, fear grips him. Determined to protect himself, he shoots through the door and hears a dull thud. To his horror, he sees a woman lying on the floor, blood seeping from her belly. Without hesitation, he takes her inside and removes the bullets using a scalpel he had salvaged. The woman pants in pain as he carefully tends to her wounds. After placing her on the bed to rest, he goes outside and finds her bag, which contains a large amount of rope and a grapnel hook. The next morning, Sam discovers the girl he shot, drinking his pigeon soup from a bowl. She appears weak but seems to be gradually recovering from her injuries. Relieved to hear another human voice besides his own, Sam engages in a brief conversation with the girl. She introduces herself as Sarah, revealing that she never remains in one place for more than a week and constantly moves from rooftop to rooftop as zombies struggle with heights. Sam assures her that they are safe in his apartment, but Sarah counters that the gunshot from the previous night drew a horde of zombies to the building below. The day passes, and as Sam engages in a one-sided conversation with Alfred, he questions whether venturing outside, as Sarah suggested, would be a wise decision. Later, he encounters Sarah on the rooftop, and they engage in a heated argument. Sarah declares that either Sam leaves the building or he will succumb to desperation and loneliness and end his own life. She then storms off downstairs. Sam follows her down to his room, only to discover Sarah's lifeless body, drenched in blood from the bullet wound to her belly. The pallor on her face indicates that she has been dead for some time, and the entire conversation Sam had with her was nothing more than a hallucination. He covers her body and delivers a eulogy, grieving for her loss. In her bag, Sam finds a camera containing photographs of her family and, to his surprise, pictures of him standing on the roof, taken from a distance. With food supplies dwindling and the weight of Sarah's tragedy, Sam decides to make a daring escape from the building. He sets all his tapes on fire and gathers the rope and grappling hook on the roof. He releases Alfred, who instead of attacking Sam wanders into an apartment unit, and Sam swiftly locks the door behind him. Suddenly, a piercing alarm shatters the silence, startling Sam. The smoke from the burning tapes has triggered the fire alarm, alerting the zombies below. The undead horde shatters the main door and surges upwards, drawn by the commotion. Shocked, Sam attempts to flee but stumbles as the ravenous crowd reaches his legs. He manages to shoot two of the pursuers and dashes away, abandoning his gun in the chaos. Scrambling to escape the grasping hands of the relentless zombies, he squeezes into the apartment of the elderly man who took his own life earlier in the film. However, a new threat awaits him: the reanimated wife of the deceased man. In a desperate act of defense, Sam bludgeons the zombie with a rod and wedges a sofa over her body. Using the makeshift platform, he clambers through the hole he had created earlier, returning to his own apartment. The smoke engulfing his unit provides a temporary shield, allowing him to slip onto the roof, evading the clutches of the undead. Consumed by panic, he hastily secures one end of the grappling rope to the building across the street and ties the other end to himself. With a surge of adrenaline, he launches himself towards the opposite building, knocking himself unconscious in the process. As he regains his senses, he gradually scrambles atop the neighboring roof. The final scene of the film reveals a relieved Sam overlooking the Parisian skyline. A faint clatter in the distance hints at the possibility of surviving remnants amidst the apocalyptic ruins.